For the shoulder area slash back of the cat, you're going to face him or her down on their ventral side. So you have the dorsal side sticking up. So you can see I have kind of the tail upward, the dorsal back side sticking up. You may also notice that I have cut a little bit more of the neck skin back a little bit higher up. So if you haven't done that, you may find eventually that you might want to remove a little bit more of the skin from the back of the neck. There are quite a few superficial muscles that you should be able to see here. Now in the human, these are going to correlate to two human muscles, the trapezius muscle on the back of the neck and the deltoids that go over the shoulder. But in the cat, they're going to be three individual muscles. They will have the trapezius and the deltoid each break down into clavo, acromio, and spino divisions. So you'll have a clavo-trapezius, acromio-trapezius, and spino-trapezius, as well as a clavo, acromio, and spino-deltoid. So the trapezius muscles are going to be the major ones that are on the back of the neck working their way down the back of the cat. So the clavo-trapezius is going to be this muscle here on the back of the neck. Next, we'll have the acromio-trapezius, which is this muscle right here. Now, acromio, if you remember, there's an acromion process on the scapula. So this would go over that acromion process of the scapula. And that would be the acromio-trapezius. And then you'll come down to this triangular muscle on one side. It should have a matching triangle on the other side. That is the spino-trapezius. Also here you can see these nice latissimus dorsi muscles that come from the armpit and sweep down to the lower back. Those nice swimmer Michael Phelps muscles. For the deltoids, here you have the clavodeltoid, which is an extension of the clavo-trapezius that comes down over the shoulder, over the arm. And you can see I have actually raised it up a little bit here. So you can just follow the line of that nicely and separate it. And by doing that, I can now see my acromio-deltoid here, and then the spino-deltoid here. So just like the deltoid in the human, it starts out real wide, and they all come down to a point. So clavo, acromio, and spino-trapezius, or deltoids. Clavo, acromio, and spino-deltoid. Now you'll also notice that there is another blue vein here. We do not need this one, so if you cut this one, no big deal. The other muscle that you're going to see here that is very hard to find for some new students, it is pretty visible here. But sometimes when you're cutting, loosening this clavodeltoid, some people will cut this muscle here along with it. You do want to try to be careful not to do that. Again, if you do, everything is bilateral, so you do have a second side. Now this muscle here, you can see does go up to the neck and then comes down, meeting up with where that spinodeltoid is. This is the levator scapulae. So if I were to kind of get in here and pull on this muscle, kind of making it contract a little fakely, you can see how it elevates or pulls up on the shoulder blade. So that would be your levator scapulae. Now you can see the separation between the levator and that acromio-trapezius. A little easier right there, but it does go right in between there. And then you have that levator scapulae muscle. Now, if you cannot see these on your cat, these are all superficial muscles. I did not have to cut anything other than following the line here to loosen the clavodeltoid up. It's the only thing that was actually cut. So in order to see all these, all you have to do is remove the superficial fascia. The more of that you move, the more you're going to be able to actually see the lines of the muscles. So you can clearly, visibly see the outer boundary of the spinotrapezius there. You can very nicely see the separation between the levator scapulae and the acromiotrapezius. You can see the outline of the spinodeltoid real nice there. You can see the bulge right here of the acromiodeltoid. And then you have your nice clavodeltoid separated out here. Now to get to the internal muscles, you can make an incision down the midline of the back, and then you're going to pull the acromiotrapezius kind of down a little bit, and that's going to open up your shoulder blade area. So that's what you're looking at right now, is the shoulder blade. I'm going to spin this tray around here. Make it a little easier to see. So now again you're looking at the shoulder blade underneath that acromiotrapezius. And the first thing that you're looking at right here is called the supraspinatus. Supra means above, and spinatus is talking about the spine of the scapula. So the bottom of this acromiotrapezius is actually attached to the spine of the scapula. So all that muscle above the spine is the supraspinatus. Now to see the infraspinatus, you may have to pull the spinotrapezius back a little bit as well, which I'm going to try to do with my fingers here, trying to work left-handed so I can film at the same time. This is not going to be the prettiest of cuts. But I just want to get that down a little bit more so that you can eventually see the infraspinatus. So the spine of the scapula is right here. See where I put my probe here. So there's the spine. That would run all along here. So this muscle that's below the spine is the infraspinatus. And the more of this that you pull down, the more of that infraspinatus you'll actually be able to see. So I'll try and pull that off a little bit more so you can see more of that infraspinatus down there. Above the spine is supraspinatus, below the spine is the infraspinatus. Now for the rhomboids are going to help connect the scapula or the shoulder blade into the spine. So if we kind of take a top-down view here and pull the shoulder blade out, now you can see those rhomboid muscles right here, the rhomboideus muscles, helping to attach this scapula in towards the spine. Now each of the rhomboids does actually have a name. The only one that you guys are going to have to know is the rhomboideus capitis, which should be the very first rhomboid. And with rhomboideus capitis, if you think of like decapitate, it's going to go up to the base of the neck underneath that clavo trapezius. So you can see some of these rhomboids starting to separate out here. So this first main one here, that's going to be the rhomboideus capitis. But the whole thing as a whole, collectively, are the rhomboideus. You can see those helping to connect the shoulder blade into the spine. Right, so again, if we go over superficially, you have your clavotrapezius, acromiotrapezius, and spinotrapezius. Try and move them on this side so they're a little easier to see. Clavodeltoid, acromiodeltoid, and spinodeltoid. You have that levator scapulae, running my finger right along it. You can see that going up the base of the neck underneath that clavodeltoid and trapezius. Latissimus dorsi muscles from the armpit sweeping down to the lower back. And then underneath the trapezius muscles, once we get to the shoulder blade, on the scapula, above the spine of the scapula, you have the supraspinatus. Below the spine, you have the infraspinatus. And then more on the sub-underneath side, or the medial aspect here, you have these rhomboids or rhomboideus muscles. And then that nice big first one here, the rhomboideus capitis.